Iranian state media claiming the country struck an American vessel that was headed towards the Strait of Hormuz. But the U.S. military is pushing back on that claim.
If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on Earth, we will hunt you down.
4:38 local time, Strait of Hormuz. The water is flat black glass. Tanker lights drift in the darkness. Diesel engines murmur across the shipping lanes. But in less than 20 minutes, this narrow corridor turns into a kill zone. 16 Iranian fast attack boats are inbound. What happens next will show exactly how one American destroyer can turn a swarm into an execution. Picture where this begins. The Strait of Hormuz is only 21 miles wide at its narrowest point, and the actual shipping lanes are far tighter than that, 2 miles in, 2 miles out. A thin ribbon of water carrying a massive share of the world's energy supply. To the north, Iran's coast, broken by islands, coves, radar sites, missile positions, and hidden launch points. To the south, Oman, above nothing but darkness and heat haze. Below, one of the most militarized waterways on Earth, and in the middle of it, a single U.S. Navy Arleigh Burke-class destroyer is pushing east at just over 18 knots, escort posture, sensors alive, crew deep into the kind of night watch that makes minutes feel longer than they are. Nearly 300 sailors aboard, Aegis combat system humming, AIM-SWY radar scanning, surface search radar, slicing through sea clutter, a 5-inch Mk-45 gun on the bow, Mk-38 chain guns, phalanx sows, 2 MH-60R helicopters in the rotation, enough firepower to defend a carrier strike group, now compressed into a knife fight in a shipping lane. Imagine you're on that bridge, red lights, low voices, salt in the air, tankers to port, merchant traffic ahead, Iranian coastline off the beam. Everyone knows the history here. Harassment, close passes, laser dazzling, radio taunts, fast boats probing for a reaction. Most nights end with angry maneuvering and videos for propaganda. This night is different, because 40 miles away near the Iranian coast, the plan is already in motion. This fictional scenario assumes a period of maximum regional tension. Sanctions biting, proxy attacks rising, political pressure in Tehran demanding a symbolic victory without triggering immediate regime-ending retaliation. So the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy reaches for its favorite tool, the swarm. Small signature, high speed, multiple axes, deniable until the shooting starts. The concept is brutally simple. 16 boats, not a neat line, not a parade, a dispersed convergence. 4 from the shadow of Keshem Island, 5 from near Larak, 3 already loitering as innocent traffic, 2 missile-armed craft hanging back, 2 explosive blade skiffs pushed into the pattern lake, masked by tanker wakes and darkness. Some carry heavy machine guns, some rockets, some anti-ship missiles for a close-range shot. The objective is not to sink the destroyer outright with one dramatic blast. That's Hollywood. The real goal is to blind it, saturate it, damage topside systems, force it to break formation, then claim the American warship fled under pressure. In Tehran, that would be sold as humiliation. In every militia chat room from Basra to Beirut, it would be celebrated as proof that small boats can bully a billion-dollar warship in its own patrol box. Not a battle, not a fleet action, a spectacle. And that's exactly why they think it can work. They believe geography is on their side. They believe the destroyer's big missile brain is less useful against tiny contacts in cluttered water. They believe merchant traffic will slow the American captain's hand. They believe the Americans will hesitate because one bad burst, one mistaken kill on a civilian craft becomes an international headline before sunrise. There's just one problem with their plan. They're preparing for a nervous target. What they actually face is a fully networked warship built by a navy that has spent decades studying swarm tactics, rehearsing constrained water defense, and training crews to make life-or-death calls in seconds. The Iranians think they are stalking prey. They do not realize the prey has already identified the predator. The first anomaly hits not with an explosion, but with a pattern. A P-8 maritime patrol aircraft farther south flags unusual movement near the Iranian littoral. Link 16 traffic updates the destroyer's combat information center. Moments later, the ship's own surface search picture starts to harden. Small contacts, then more. High speed, intermittent, splitting, merging, splitting again. Some running dark. Some using commercial AIS ghosts nearby as cover. The SPQ-9B begins pulling them out of the clutter. Electro-optical systems start confirming hull shapes. Combat classifies behavior, not just contacts. 15 miles, then 12, then 9. On the destroyer, the atmosphere changes is under 2 seconds. General quarters is not a screen. It's a machine engaging, hatches dogging shut, helm tightening course discipline, lookouts snapping to sectors, gun crews manning station. The captain stepping into the kind of silence that only exists when everyone suddenly understands this might be real. You're there now, heart rate up, coffee forgotten. The deck vibrates under your boots. On a screen in CIC, those contacts are no longer random dots, they are vectors. Speed, bearing, intent. Bridge-to-bridge warnings go out in English and Farsi. US, warship, alter course immediately. Maintain safe distance. You are approaching a coalition naval vessel. No reply. Then one reply. Laughter. Static. A voice promising the Americans are about to learn who owns this water. Could you wait another 10 seconds before firing? Could you wait 5? The captain does. Because discipline matters here more than aggression. Flares launch. A warning maneuver opens a cleaner engagement arc off the starboard bow. One MH-60R is brought to ready status to widen the visual picture. The second remains on deck. The destroyer cannot afford confusion. Everything now is geometry and timing. The swarm separates. This is the part most people misunderstand. Swarms are not dangerous because they are large. They are dangerous because they force choices. 6 boats driving in fast from port, 4 from starboard, 3 hugging the wake of a merchant vessel, 2 missile boats trailing behind at greater distance for a clean launch envelope. 1 contact erratic, accelerating, decelerating, then accelerating again. That one catches attention immediately. Suicide profile, engine trouble, decoy, you have seconds to decide. The first warning shots crack over the water from the destroyer's 5-inch gun. Enormous muzzle flash, thunder rolling back over the bridge glass. White plumes erupt ahead of the lead boats. This is the final line before lethal force. The boats do not turn away. Instead, 2 of them surge even harder, bows up, engines screaming. Another opens with heavy machine gun fire at impossible range, more signal than threat. Then the real attack begins. Rockets. Thin orange lines slash low over the water toward the destroyer's port side. In the darkness, they look almost slow. They are not. One ships short, one skips wild. One bursts close enough to shower the forward weather deck with fragments. Alarms multiply. The illusion is over. Weapons free. What follows lasts minutes. It feels like an hour. The Mk-45 speaks first. Not once. Again and again. Massive 5-inch shells reaching out over open water, guided by radar, optics, and fire control already locked into the geometry of the attack. The lead missile boat disappears in a bloom of orange and black, bow lifting clear of the surface before slamming back in pieces. Kill one. A second shell lands just long. Then the correction comes. The next Iranian craft is hit amidships. Fuel flashes. Crew thrown clear. Kill 2. The swarm keeps coming. Now the destroyer yaws slightly to unmask more guns. Mk-38 25mm mounts begin hammering. Controlled bursts. Not spray, not panic. One fast boat trying to cross the bow gets cut open from stern to console. Kill 3. Another turns sharply, tries to hide behind commercial traffic, then exposes itself for a rocket shot. The port side gun tracks, leads, fires. Engine block shatters. It slews sideways and rolled. Kill 4. The sea is no longer black. It is muzzle flash, tracers burning fuel, white wakes, shattered fiberglass. You're on the starboard bridge wing now, at least in your mind. Hot brass. The stink of cordite, radio traffic stacking over itself. Somebody shouting ranges. Somebody else calling small arms impacts. Could you tell which contact is bluffing and which one is packed with explosives? The 2 trailing missile boats make their move. They've held back for exactly this reason. While the front wave absorbs attention, they angle for a cleaner shot from outside the densest gun arcs. It's smart. It almost works. Almost. The MH-60R is airborne now. Low and fast, its sensors feeding the destroyer precise bearings. One missile boat is caught in the open, silhouetted by another burning craft. The destroyer's forward gun traverses, fires, and erases it as one savage flash. Kill 5. The last missile boat manages to launch. That moment is the fulcrum of the entire fight. The missile breaks low over the water, skimming in, tiny radar return, fast enough to kill anyone still pretending this is just harassment. Phalanx activates automatically into that familiar mechanical scream. A wall of tungsten tears the darkness apart. For a split second, the missile is there. Then it is a cloud of sparks and fragments splashing harmlessly short. 4 seconds. That's all the destroyer had. And the Iranians still have 10 boats in the fight. This becomes a layered hunt. Outer ring. The 5-inch gun and helicopter-fed targeting keep smashing the boats before they can settle into stable firing runs. Middle ring. The Mk-38s and crew-served weapons chew up anything trying to dart inside 2 miles. Inner ring. Phalanx, the last brutal answer, waits for whatever slips through. A pair of explosive skiffs now reveals itself by behavior alone. No weaving, no suppression fire, just straight-line acceleration, bouncing across the chop with the kind of commitment that tells every experienced sailor exactly what they are. They are not trying to scare the destroyer. They are trying to die against it. The first skiff takes 25mm hits and keeps coming. Smaller target, harder angle, closing fast. At 2,200 yards, the destroyer's starboard batteries rip into it, no effect. At 900, the bow erupts. Detonation over the water. Shockwave slaps the hull. Kill 6. The second uses the smoke, vanishes for 3 terrifying seconds, then bursts out off the port quarter far closer than anyone wants to see. This is the nightmare of swarm combat. Not the boat you track for a minute, the one you lose for 3 seconds. Phalanx opens. The skiff disintegrates so completely it almost looks clean. Kill 7. But this is not one-sided yet. 2 more rocket bursts come in from different bearings. One slams fragments into topside fittings. Another shreds antennas and peppers lifelines. A sailor is knocked flat. Another is hit by splinter spray. Damage control parties are already moving before the reports finish. Blood on non-skin. Smoke. The ship is fighting and healing at the same time. 8 boats remain effective. Then 7. Then 6. Ice because swarms collapse when momentum breaks. One Iranian coxswain sees the lead wave destroyed and veers wide. Another follows. A third presses in alone and dies alone under concentrated gunfire. Kill 8. A fourth tries to use a tanker's silhouette, but a destroyer is not blind because the background is messy. Thermal sights burn through the deception. Kill 9. Now the boat crews are no longer attacking as one organism. They are fragments, individual decisions, individual fear. That is the moment a swarm stops being a tactic and becomes a funeral. Still, the most dangerous boat of the night hasn't fired yet. It comes in from the north, low profile, better discipline, no wild radio chatter, no tracer fire, just speed, 40+ knots, direct intercept. Combat flags it as the cleanest track of the entire engagement. Maybe the best crew. Maybe the boat assigned to finish the job after the chaos. The destroyer's captain does not hesitate. Single gun solution, bow crossing. Fire. The 5-inch round lands just
Fears of
ahead,
renewed military
punches water like a
operations
bomb,
between the
and for one
U.S. and
fraction of a
Iran
second, it
rose
looks like
on
a
Monday
miss.
over the
Then
movement
boat
of
rises,
ships
broken
through
in
the
half
Strait
by
of
blast and
Hormuz.
fragments.
The
Kill 10. The remaining 6 try to run different
Iranian
plays at
state
once.
TV said
2
on
flee
Monday
north.
its Navy
2
had
continue
forced a
firing
U.S.
rockets
warship to
wildly.
turn back
1
from
slows,
entering the
possibly
crucial
disabled.
waterway.
1
The
circles back as
semi-official
if deciding whether to
news
rescue
agency said
survivors or
2
keep
missiles
attacking.
struck
That
the warship
indecision
near
kills
the
them.
port of
MK-38.
Jask, where Iran
Burst.
maintains a
Kill
naval
11.
base.
Kill 12.
But U.S.
The
Central
last
Command
serious
quickly
threat
denied
comes
any
not
of its
from
boats had
bravery,
been
but
struck.
from denial.
A senior
One badly
Iranian official
damaged
told
fast
Reuters
craft,
that a
burning
warning
from the
shot was
stern,
fired
still
against the
manages
U.S.
to
warship
close
to
enough to
prevent
lose
its entry
heavy
into the
fire
strait.
toward the destroyer's
Reuters has been
superstructure.
unable to
It
independently
achieves
verify
nothing
the claims.
operationally.
The contradicting
Psychological.
accounts come
It
after
matters,
President Donald Trump
because it
said the
proves the
U.S.
fight
would
is
start
not
an
over
effort
until
on
she
Monday
finals and
morning
falls
to
silent.
free
The
ships
destroyer answers
stranded
with
in the strait,
merciless precision.
calling it a,
Forward
quote,
gun.
humanitarian
1 round.
gesture.
The
In
Iranian
response
craft
to Trump's
vanishes into
announcement,
steam,
Tehran
flame, and
told
shattered
commercial
hull.
ships
Kill
and
13.
oil tankers
The
to
final 3
refrain from
contacts
any
scatter.
movement
One
that was
beaches
not
itself near
coordinated
the
with
Iranian
Iran's
side.
military.
One is left drifting in
CENTCOM
a
on
flame.
Monday said
One
its
escapes
destroyers
behind
had
coastal
escorted
clutter,
2
fast but
U.S.-flagged
alone,
merchant
carrying back
vessels
the
out
kind
of
of
the
story
strait,
commanders
and that,
do not
quote,
want
American
told
forces are actively assisting
16
efforts
boats
to restore
committed,
transit for
13
commercial
destroyed
shipping.
outright, 2 mission.
Iran has
One
blocked
fleet.
nearly all shipping
that is
into
only
and
the
out of
surface
the
of
Gulf since it was
Because
attacked
now
by
comes
the
the
U.S. and
decision
Israel
that
at the end
changes
of
the night
February.
from tactical
That
victory
closure
to
cut off
strategic
around a
message.
fifth of the world's
At
oil
Fifth
and
Fleet
gas
headquarters
shipments,
in Bahrain,
and
the
sent
pattern
oil
is
prices
clear.
soaring
This
by
was
50%
not random
or
harassment,
more.
not
The United
hot-headed
States and
local
Israel
bravado.
suspended attacks on Iran
Coordination,
4
the
weeks
timing,
ago,
the mixed
and U.S.
profile,
and
the
Iranian
missile
officials
shot, the
held a round of
explosive boats, the
face-to-face
simultaneous
talks.
approach from multiple
Iranian
axes.
state media said on
This was a
Sunday
deliberate
Washington
attack on
had
the
conveyed
US.
its response
Warship
to a
in an
14-point
international
Iranian
chokehold.
proposal via
Response
Pakistan,
authorization
and
moves
that
fast,
Tehran was
not
now
emotional,
reviewing it.
not theatrical,
Neither side
calculated.
gave details.
Within minutes, assets already in theater begin sliding into position. Carrier-based fighters from the Arabian Sea, land-based strike aircraft from the Gulf, ISR platforms tightening the picture over Bandar Abbas, Keshem, and Larak. The objective is not revenge. The objective is future capability denial. That phrase sounds clinical. It means this: the boats that survive tonight do not get to attack again tomorrow. The first American counterstrikes are electronic and informational. Iranian coastal radars feeding the attack pattern are jammed or spoofed. Communications nodes go silent. Drone links break. Then the physical campaign begins. A pair of strike aircraft punches precision weapons into the Urgi pier facilities used to stage the swarm. Fuel fires rise along the waterfront. Storage sheds vanish. Boat pens collapse inward. Another wave targets command vans and shore-based support vehicles feeding the attack network. Then follow-on strikes crater launch ramps, damage munitions points, and wreck maintenance sites where replacement hulls would have been armed for the next confrontation. This is where modern warfare becomes ruthless in a different way. The destroyer won the fight in the water. The wider U.S. response makes sure the architecture behind that fight pays as well. Boats are expendable. The chain that launched them is not. From the enemy's perspective, this is when confidence curdles into disbelief. They thought they were staging a sharp little spectacle in the dark. Instead, they triggered a rolling, multi-domain punishment cycle they cannot stop. Their fast boats are gone. Their coastal support sites are burning. Their command picture is collapsing. Their propaganda victory has turned into a demonstration of exactly how dangerous it is to confuse harassment tactics with warfighting parody. And if you're one of the surviving Iranian crews racing back through smoke and dawn haze, what are you seeing? Burning hulls, expanding slicks, rescue chaos, secondary explosions on shore. No triumphant radio calls. Just the sound of a plane dying. By 0520, the battle for the strait is effectively over. 42 minutes from first firm detection to the last major strike effect. Think about that. Less time than most people spend scrolling through their phone before work. In those 42 minutes, 16 attacking boats met a destroyer that never lost tactical coherence. 1 anti-ship missile fired, 1 anti-ship missile destroyed, 13 boats sunk, 2 crippled, 1 escaped. The American ship takes topside damage, several wounded, no loss of combat capability, and remains on station. That last part matters most. The strait never closes. The escort mission continues. The strategic objective of the attack fails completely. And here is the part Tehran would bury if this were real. Not just the losses, the lesson. The lesson is that swarm tactics only work when they preserve surprise, compress decision time, and fracture the defender's fire control discipline. Against a trained crew with integrated sensors, layered weapons, and the authority to act decisively, the swarm becomes what it always feared becoming: a collection of small, vulnerable targets entering a perfectly managed kill chain. This doesn't mean the threat is fake. It is very real. In confined water, even a single explosive skiff can cripple a warship if detection fails or hesitation wins. That's what makes Hormuz so dangerous. Not because big fleets clash there every day, but because tiny mistakes can become historic disasters in seconds. So the real takeaway from this fictional scenario is simple. Modern naval power is not just missiles and tonnage. It is information dominance under pressure. It is training that holds when the screen fills with contacts. It is the ability to decide, fast and correctly, which dot on the water is bluffing, which is bait, and which one is about to ram 600 pounds of explosives into your hull. Which decision was most critical? Debate below. Hit subscribe for in-depth military breakdowns.